And that's when Wendell G. took a tug upon the string that held the line of trees behind the house he lived in. He was reared to give respect, and somewhere down the line he chose to whistle as the wind blows. Whistle as the wind blows the leaves. Hey folks, welcome to Playing in Traffic, and today is probably one of the most special days that I've actually had on my channel. It really is. Behind me is, and I'm going to put an image up of the back of R.E.M's Murmur LP. This is what they call the R.E.M. TRESTLE. That's on the back of the record. And today's episode of Playing in Traffic is going to be paying homage to R.E.M. I mean, I literally was my favorite band, and I never stopped listening to them. But a huge fan back in when I was a teenager. It literally was a soundtrack of my life. This moment, singing the parts of Wendell G. in Athens, Georgia today is really bucket list material for me. So today we're going to wander to a couple R.E.M. landmarks, this being one of the more iconic ones. There are others, but then we're going to sing today. We're going to sing a few of the melodies. Go over and check my short of this, because I'm going to put some one-wheel footage as well for my short, probably to the song Begin to Begin off Life's Risk Pageant. And okay, so welcome aboard to Playing in Traffic in Athens, Georgia, paying homage to R.E.M. So yeah, what a pretty area right here. This trestle, we're going to go up to the marker so you can see the marker of it. This is a renovation, but it's pretty darn, it looks pretty close to the actual piece that was here. So they did one heck of a job bringing this back to life. On top there is what they call the Firefly Trail, and really look tremendous. We might maybe get a shot of some clips up there. We'll see. But yeah, this looks really good. And I'm going to go to the marker now. This was a recent renovation. I'm going to get the actual year that it happened. But yeah, very pretty. Very pretty. The specs on it right here. The details. But we do see automatic when demolition threatened the trestle because it was falling apart, though. The campaign to save it convinced the local government to purchase it in 2000. I'm going to put the actual date that it was renovated and when the Firefly Trail was built on top of it. And we may even find that information up there. But here's the actual cover. No, it's not the cover. It's the back cover of the Murmur album. And there's a picture of the original trestle that stood for a while until the renovation. Speaking in 1983 and when Murmur came out, so I did a little research. I saw the R.E.M. for the very first time, and admittedly not because I was a fan of R.E.M., but I saw them on the second stadium gig that they did in support of Murmur, a supporting act on the legendary Police band, right? Legendary rock band, the Police. And I saw them at JFK Stadium in Philadelphia. And they were really, really good. I think they opened, or Madness opened, but it was R.E.M., Madness, Joan Jett, and then the Police. Some kind of order like that. And then, but they were really good. And that was, I think, the second stadium show of that tour, the first one being at Shea Stadium. So just to think that I saw on their tour history that they had played Philly, for the first time that April, I think, at the Ripley Music Hall on South Street, April 1983. And, you know, the thought that you went from the Ripley Music Hall to playing to 60,000, I think there was 60,000 at JFK. It was a big, JFK is massive. Probably more than that, honestly. But to think you did that, and I heard, like, initially over the decades of reading different accounts of their career, that tour took its toll on them. And to know that they continued on and went on to make some of the greatest records that I enjoy in my life to this day is really amazing. That's a journey for any band to go through that. And that's a hell of a thing to go from Ripley Music Hall. Ripley might, I'm just going to take a stab at it. Maybe it held 500. I don't know. Maybe, I don't even know. I was never in it. I remember seeing it from the outside. To a stadium tour in support of the police is just mind-boggling type stuff. So just think that the actual picture, although I think it was taken on the other side of the creek, this is kind of the angle it was at, right here. Something like that. And that middle part's very reminiscent, man. Anyone trying to restore something to its old glory to that degree right there, that is such an amazing thing to see. Because that's right there. It's a good reproduction of it right there, yes. So wow, so they went from like a concrete piece to where the actual trestle is, they kept it as wood. Which I think, again, is just, that's super special that they did that. That's the details of it all. Again, we're at the R.E M trestle, the old freight line they went through Athens, Georgia. I believe it said till Augusta, and probably forever after that. And then what's cool is if you visit, they got a nice little area over here to the left with a big old sunflower. Plenty of great vantage points to photograph the trestle itself. Okay, so after a flight of steps and a break at the rest room area, we actually ended up on the side where I think they actually photographed the original trestle for the back of the Murmur album. And I'm pretty sure it's somewhere around here. Nice. Well, I would keep it above, but then it wouldn't be sky anymore. So if I send it to you, you gotta promise to keep it whole. By the sky and so the sky, lift your arms up to the sky. Ask the sky, ask the sky. Yes. So here's what's remaining of St. Mary's Church. Shout out to the First Unitarian Church in Philadelphia, PA, because churches are the original spots that a lot of significant bands in the history of this world have played. And this is one of them right here. The only thing remaining now is the actual steeple. Okay? But this property here was the site, April 5th, 1980. I'm assuming the church was probably in the front here. But not positive. April 5th, 1980, the first live performance by R.E.M. happened right here. And the shorter end of the history of this, or keeping it short, is the fact that Peter Buck took this over I think February of that year. And they said they had upwards towards 15 people sharing in the $350 a month rent to be in St. Mary's Church with a hole in the roof, etc., etc., etc. And it ended up becoming like a rehearsal space. I think a gentleman from BRAXYB Records actually was the previous tenant. Peter Buck taking it over with his people, his 15 people. I've been in a house like that. And then, another individual was throwing a party of some sort and needed some entertainment. R.E.M. had just started in February rehearsing with the 4 original members, Bill Berry, Peter Buck, Mike Mills, Mike Stipe. And by April of 1980, they played their first show right here. In these grounds, right here. And I'm proud to say, and I kind of know of this with their influences, which is their very vast influences. One of the first 2 tracks, I don't even know if they played any originals, based on the stuff that I've read that it was cover songs. One of them was God Save the Queen. You can never go wrong with that one, hitting that one there. But yeah, I was interested in seeing this building here. All right, folks, so hold on, because we're not done yet. We got a couple more locations to hit. And again, no food. Well, I will tell you if the food is good or not good, but I guess I will do that, but we won't be going into a whole lot of detail. We got a couple more locations, so hold on. Don't go anywhere. If anything, just pause it. Go get a refreshing drink, because I still got another song in me. And I think at least 1 or 2 locations, and maybe a little peek at what's going on in downtown Athens, Georgia. So I'm actually just wandering down through downtown Athens. So we're coming up on something that I need to show the audience. Check this freaking vibe up. I want to make a left here, take a peek at something. So yeah, coming up here on the right, the Georgia Theater. I know there's a lot of relevance. Georgia Theater has a ton of history. R.E.M. performing there is not one of them, although I think they did once late in their career. Look at Georgia Theater. Look at that. Let's spin around and get a little. I'm going to square this up right here, as you see. Let's make sure we put this on record. This isn't exactly why I came to this location, but this is an iconic building in and of itself. Let's check this thing out. First paragraph of what it was prior to being a performance space. Our music store, movie house, hotel, Masonic temple, furniture company, Sears and Roebuck. That is amazing. Elite Theater at 35. Okay. Major fire 2009. Okay, Georgia Theater. Rebuilt 2011. Office right here is just, I just love that, man. That is absolutely the best. That is the best. Seeing that, man, that's signature. You know what I mean? For any old theater to keep that as is, as best they can. So yeah, approaching right up here on the left is none other than BRAXYB Records. And let's talk about the significance of BRAXYB Records. So actually, in the realm of music history, the BRAXYB Records, its actual location, current location is actually 2 doors in. You can see the open sign right there, I believe, yeah, something like that. Let me flip this around for you. The store had been around since 1976, but actually adjacent to it this was the original building, where in January of 1980, we had a meeting of the minds between Peter Buck, who worked in Wuxtry Records, and Mike Stipe, who met inside that room in that building right there and laid the groundwork for R.E.M. And that is a couple of the other landmarks, well, at least the one other landmark that I mentioned already. So in January 1980, these two fellas met in here and then went on to lay the groundwork for the original, you know, obviously the original R.E.M. I don't know if, you know, January 1980, February of 1980 is when they first started really ripping it at St. Mary's, where I showed you the steeple, where the actual 4 members of the band actually got together there and started rehearsing R.E.M., where they eventually played the very first gig April of that year. So that's a pretty quick startup. 4 months is pretty good. And then the rest is absolute national, international hit music history. International music history. And it all started here between Peter Buck, right here. This was the original Wuxtry Records. I heard these doors really weren't here, but we get the idea. Right here in this location was the original meeting place for Peter Buck, Michael Stipe, to start the phenomenon known as R.E.M. It's my lucky day because Bizarro Wuxtry, right above, Comics and Toys, Rare Comics, Bizarre Toys, is closed on Tuesday. Well, that's nice to know. So, actually, to my surprise, the original grounds, the original spot of Wuxtry Records is now a record store again. And has been so basically for the last 6 months. So how special is it to actually be able to walk inside the actual store? And then of course, see this. In Wuxtry, where I just picked up you know, a t-shirt and an old 7-inch record, Radio Free Europe, which I'll show you out in the car. But then there's this. I mean, these have been sitting for a little minute. This right here is the actual tour that I saw them on at the Philadelphia Spectrum in, I think, 1987. Look at this. Look at this billing. 688. That's over, and I think that's over in Atlanta. So it is. Look at this billing here. R.E.M. Black Flag. Yeah. So I wanted to shoot this because this looks like that it had some authentic back in the day flyers of theirs. This one might be very well dated back to 1980. That's back in the margins. All right, so let's face the facts. Who loves the smell? Who loves the smell of old record stores? I do. It's just a thing. It's a thing. You expect a certain odor. I'm not saying it's a pleasant odor. It's just an odor in itself, and we need a candle that's going to push that smell out there. But let's see what I picked up real quick from Wuxtry Records. The gentleman at the counter is really freaking really cool. I've actually seen him on other YouTube videos, but he's a very pleasant individual. And hopefully they're around for another, oh my God, 40, 50, I don't know, just round it up, 40, 50 more years. How about that? Who knows what's going to be happening by then. So I picked this up, which is basically a Radio Free Europe single. It's like a 40-year, this was a 40-year anniversary put out. Apparently Wuxtry bought 300 of them, and I think they printed 2,000 of them. So I thought that was a nice little souvenir. It's got a nice little picture of them on the back. Nice souvenir from Athens, from Wuxtry Records. Shirt, which I'm going to promptly cut the sleeves off of. Yeah, not bad. I thought it was nice. Nice little trip to Wuxtry Records. On to the next. On the inside of Weaver D's. And there'll be a short explanation about Weaver D's, but this is the inside of Weaver D's, and that is Dexter Weaver right there. Oh, sorry, right here. Busy at work. So anyway, me and BRAXYB are enjoying this meal at Weaver D's. I got the fish, she got the chicken. What do you think about the cornbread? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. She's off camera. I'm pretty sure you can. Anyway, my fish is really good. Macaroni and cheese. I really like the macaroni and cheese. Green beans. So yeah. So stop on in. Don't be alarmed at these eyeballs. I'm still working on getting. I think I was going to do my cuisine, but I'm taking medicine. I'm trying to get better. So the actual story about Automatic for the People, the title of R.E.M's record, came from a response that Dexter Weaver would give you. I guess if you said you're welcome, he would say, instead of saying thank you, he said Automatic for the People. So Michael Stipe and another gentleman affiliated with R.E.M. actually came in here, and I think in 1980, I'll look at the date, I'll post it, it's on Wikipedia, came in here and asked if they had his permission to use Automatic for the People as the title of the record, because Michael Stipe frequented Weaver D's quite often over the decades. Well, I shouldn't say over the decades because it opened in 1986, but frequented the establishment. So okay, overnight parking is $5 if you're in the area. Drop right down in the street here, and there it is, Weaver D's delicious fine foods, Automatic for the People. And let's just say that meal was very, very good. Oh, what do we got here? Right across the way. Oh, this is nice. Whoa, ass. This is cool. Look at this. The Mill Bridge right next to Weaver D's. 1885, a wooded. Oh, okay. So maybe this is the original structure, or this was a covered bridge. How cool is that? Well, yeah, oh, there it is. Okay. Sort of absolute inspiration for the title of Automatic for the People by R.E.M. was done at Willow and Broad here in Athens, Georgia. BRAXYB, we have a question for you. When you went up and bought your dessert, who was Dexter Weaver at the counter?
Yes.
And what did he say?
Here you go, doll baby.
Oh, see that? You
said,
can't.
Thanks, Mr. Dexter.
You can't beat that. Yo, check out this. Check out this Schlitz. Check it out, the Manhattan Cafe. Check out the Schlitz. Oh yes. Right up here, coming up on the left-hand side, if you ever wanted to know, it's the 40-watt club. Here we go. Here we go. Pulaski and Washington, somewhere around this is the 40-watt club right here. That is, talk about legendary spot right there. 40-watt club is that. It's absolutely that. Yep. Okay, so here goes one. B-52s. And so this is where our giant pick. You can't beat that. That's a great piece in there. I like it. It's the Athens Walk of Fame. B-52s to start. One last number before I hit the road. Pull your dress on and stay real close. Who might leave you where I left off. A perfect circle of acquaintances and friends. Drink another coin of phrase. That song, perfect circle. And I'm making a perfect rectangle around an area where we're going to end up at my final destination here in Athens, Georgia today. I want to thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this trip as much as I have. But yeah, downtown Athens. Got the 40-watt club documented. And the final destination is right here. Ooh. So yeah, that was it. R.E.M's pick, giant pick. It's better than the star at Athens Music Walk of Fame. Interesting side note. Maybe my buddy will watch this too as well. A gentleman messaged me yesterday at an airport where he saw Ian MacKaye of Minor Threat, Fugazi fame, right? And then as I was talking to him about, oh no, actually he really didn't have time to talk, but he was boarding the flight, and that was that. Oh, let's see how sketchy this can end. I can make this, not bad. But anyway, he saw him at the airport, and like a true gentleman, he just let him have his moment. He did snap a picture and showed me that he was there, which was amazing. Interestingly enough, I already knew that I was heading to Athens the following day to do a video, and coincidentally, that first R.E.M. show at the Ripley Music Hall they opened for the Replacements, so I know my buddy's a good, big, huge fan of the Replacements. Still haven't found out if he actually went to that show, but like to actually, kind of link that whole scenario up between the two trips. It kind of tied in many interviews that I read with Michael Stipe. He's very, very connected with years, or say decades and decades of music, including Ian MacKaye with Minor Threat, all the way through the 80s, 90s, 2000s. Such a well-respected performer. So articulate. Was he the one that did the? I think he's Kurt Cobain's daughter's godfather. So articulate at the time when they were I think it was when they were put in the Hall of Fame, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It's just one of my favorite inductions into the Hall of Fame is Mike Stipe's with Nirvana. But yeah, it's just Fables of Reconstruction, and I think that's probably not one of their more favorite records. I love that record. Absolutely adore that freaking album, along with all of them. Actually, I saw them 2 or 3 times in concert, and now that I live in the area, in the Atlanta area, it just seems like this was always a bucket list spot for me to visit because of my love for the band. Self-admittedly, after Green, I wasn't vibing off what they wrote, but that did not stop me from having on endless cycle every record, especially Life's Rich Pageant. I swear that's probably my favorite. Fables right there, and a host of songs from all the records, really, that the heaviness, the melodies, the slow melodies, the up-tempo, the hard rock, forget it. And you know what? I'm going to croak, and this video is going to be on YouTube forever and paying homage to R.E M. And that's what kind of happened today. I'm very happy about that. And I think that's going to do it for me for here today. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thumbs up, subscription, all that good stuff. I'm off to God knows where soon. I know I got my trip to Louisiana coming up. Who knows what that's going to uncover on that route to Louisiana. We will see. But absolutely enjoyed this. Enjoyed being a 2024 version of it. Man, I would have loved this scene in the mid-'80s as was. You know what I mean? But I'm not going to let renovation and different things stop, because I can feel the spirit. I can feel the spirit, period. You know what I mean? Anyway, have a great day, great tomorrow, and all that good stuff. And do I have anything else? Let me think. I don't know. I might, I don't know. Hopefully this poison ivy clears up, because I'm not really feeling the sunglasses thing.